Imagine hearing this at 60, 70, or any age. The clock is not your enemy. Poor decisions are. Warren Buffett didn't become an icon because he moved fast. He became an icon because he moved wisely, patiently, and consistently. The truth hiding in plain sight is that compounding favors the calm. If you can simplify your life, avoid the traps that quietly drain you, and make a handful of sound choices you can live with for decades, the next years can be the most secure and most meaningful of your life. This isn't a pep talk. It's a practical operating system for wealth and well-being inspired by the way Buffett actually lives. Start with simplicity. Strip your financial life down to what you truly value and what truly serves you. A smaller house that's fully yours. A car you don't worship. Meals you enjoy without performing status for strangers. These are not sacrifices. They're upgrades to freedom. Every unnecessary bill you cancel, and every expensive habit you replace with a better one is like turning down the background noise so you can hear what matters. Health. Time with people you love and the quiet confidence that comes from spending less than you earn. When your lifestyle is light, your options multiply, especially on a fixed or semi-fixed income. Now remove the ankle weights. Debt, especially high-interest debt, doesn't just cost money. It confiscates peace of mind and future choices. Treat credit card balances like a kitchen fire. Smother them fast and don't look away. If you still carry a mortgage, run the numbers with a clear head. Sometimes keeping a low, fixed rate and holding more cash makes sense. Sometimes accelerating payoff is the best sleep aid. Either way, the North Star is the same. Own more, owe less. Financial freedom is built as much by what you refuse to carry as by what you manage to collect. Once you've lightened the load, give time something solid to work on. The long term is not for the young. The long term is whatever time you still have, and for many, that's 20, 30 years of living, giving, and investing. Think durability over dazzle. Favor broad, low-cost, diversified funds. Sprinkle in high-quality dividend payers if income steadies your hand. Match your bond exposure to your need for sleep, not your neighbor's bragging rights. You are not trying to win a sprint. You're trying to avoid a stumble that takes you off the course. Safety first, growth second, ego nowhere. Emotions, meanwhile, will keep auditioning for the role of chief investment officer. Don't hire them. Markets will rise and fall. Headlines will shout. Friends will whisper, can't miss. Build a policy you can follow on a bad day. Target allocations, rebalancing rules, withdrawal bans, and a written promise to your future self that you will not panic sell in a drawdown or chase heat in a frenzy. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Isn't he a stunt? It's permission to be boring when boredom is the winning move. Keep your mind compounding too. Buffett reads because knowledge throws off dividends. You don't need to devour 10Ks to benefit. Learn what actually touches your life. Medicare and supplemental plans. Social Security claiming strategies. Tax-smart withdrawals. Scams to avoid. Habits that add healthy years. Hobbies that add joyful days. Curiosity is an asset that appreciates with use. The world keeps changing. Keep updating your playbook. Guard your circle. You drift toward the character of the people you spend time with and the professionals you trust. Choose advisors who are fiduciaries, incentives aligned with yours, paid to help you, not sell to you. Choose friends who talk about ideas, service, books, grandkids, and craft, not conspiracies, shortcuts, and scorekeeping. At this stage especially, the wrong voices are an expensive luxury. Think beyond balance sheets to legacy. Buffett plans to give most of his fortune away because money achieves its highest purpose when it outlives our appetites. You can scale that principle to any level. A donor-advised fund, a scholarship at a local school, a yearly family gift with a letter about the values behind it. Legacy is also practical. Clean wills, clear beneficiaries, powers of attorney, and instructions your loved ones can actually follow. And legacy is personal. The stories you tell, the rituals you start, the apologies you make, the forgiveness you give. All of this requires patience, the rarest edge in a culture addicted to updates. Patience is not waiting with folded arms. It's tending the garden you planted, rebalancing when it's time, ignoring noise when it isn't, letting habits do the heavy lifting. If you feel an urge to overhaul everything after a scary week in markets or a loud segment on TV, Pause. Most expensive mistakes are made fast. And then there is the metric that will matter when the numbers fade from view. Buffett has said you will measure your life by love. By how many people you want to have love, you actually do. Money can buy comfort and options. It cannot purchase the things that make a life glow from the inside. Schedule the coffee. Take the trip with your sister. Read to the kid who thinks you're a superhero. Call the friend you miss. Wealth creates the space. Love fills it. Before you go, clear 3 foggy myths. First, it's too late to start. It's too late to be 25 again. It is not too late to make the next decade the most intentional of your life. A conservative, well-designed plan beats no plan every time. Second, you need millions to be comfortable. You need alignment. Right-size spending, reliable income streams, and risks tuned to your sleep. A smaller, simpler life can be richer than a larger, frantic one. Third, Buffett was just lucky. Luck visits everyone. Discipline invites it back. Systems, not stunts, produced his results, and systems are available to you. Here's your next small step today. Pick one lever and pull it. Cancel 2 expenses you don't value. Make an extra payment toward the only debt that truly bothers you. Write down a draft withdrawal plan and a target allocation on a single page. Book an hour with a fiduciary to sanity check your strategy. Put a recurring date on the calendar for dinner with someone who matters. Tiny acts, repeated, are compounding in human form. If this shifted how you see the years ahead, subscribe and share it with someone who needs the reminder that late is a story, not a fact. And when you're ready, watch the next episode on 5 safe, boring investments that do the job in retirement. Money is the tool. A well-lived life is the project. Build both, patiently, simply, and with the people you love at the center. There's a quiet power in understanding that wealth compounds, but so does wisdom. Buffett's entire life is a case study in the exponential return of good habits repeated over long periods of time. He once said, "The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." That insight applies not only to money, but to everything that shapes your days, your routines, your diet, your thoughts, your conversations. Every repeated action is an investment in the person you're becoming. The question is, are you compounding strength or weakness, calm or anxiety, gratitude or resentment? At 60 or beyond, you already have decades of habits behind you. But that's precisely why this moment matters. You have the chance to audit what has served you and what hasn't. Buffett built his empire not by constant reinvention, but by pruning what didn't work and doubling down on what did. He stayed in the same house, the same city, the same company, the same daily rhythm, and that stability gave his decisions room to grow. The lesson: stop chasing new systems and start perfecting the simple, proven moves that build reliability. Saving automatically, living below your means, investing consistently, and learning endlessly. Another underappreciated Buffett principle is clarity over complexity. The financial world thrives on confusion because confusion keeps people dependent. Buffett's approach is the opposite. Understand what you own, why you own it, and how it works. If you can't explain an investment to a friend over coffee, you probably shouldn't hold it. Complexity looks intelligent, but clarity performs better. In retirement or pre-retirement years, simplicity becomes a shield. Fewer accounts, fewer funds, fewer moving parts. This not only reduces fees and mistakes, but also reduces the mental clutter that steals joy from your days. Then comes the lesson few talk about: the discipline of saying no. Buffett often credits much of his success not to what he said yes to, but to what he refused. The difference between successful people and really successful people, he once remarked, is that really successful people say no to almost everything. At this stage of life, that wisdom is pure gold. Every invitation, every purchase, every commitment has a cost, not just in money, but in time and energy. When you protect your calendar and your focus, you protect your peace. Learning to decline gracefully is an act of self-respect. He also teaches emotional independence, the ability to stay steady regardless of the crowd's mood. Buffett doesn't let fear or euphoria dictate his behavior, and that emotional mastery is what keeps him from making impulsive mistakes. Translate that into life at 60 and beyond. You don't need to match anyone's pace, trends, or expectations. You don't need to keep up with your neighbors, your colleagues, or the digital noise that defines modern life. You are free to define success on your own terms. That emotional independence, once internalized, is real wealth, because it can't be taxed, stolen, or lost to market crashes. There's another truth that becomes increasingly relevant as the years unfold. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy meaning. Buffett's own life, despite its unimaginable wealth, is built on rhythm, purpose, and contribution. He still shows up to work not because he needs more, but because he loves the game of thinking, learning, and solving problems. Purpose, not paychecks, is what keeps a mind alive. Retirement, for many, is misunderstood. It should not be an exit from purpose, but a redesign of it. Maybe your purpose now is mentoring younger generations, volunteering, creating art, or simply being the emotional backbone of your family. Purpose keeps the light on. Buffett's friendship with Bill Gates also teaches a subtle lesson: the power of collaboration between generations. Buffett in his 90s still learns from people half his age. He doesn't assume wisdom travels only downward. He knows that curiosity keeps it flowing both ways. If you are in your 60s, seek relationships with younger people, not to control or lecture, but to exchange perspectives. Your experience grounds them. Their curiosity reawakens you. That cross-pollination of energy is one of life's richest forms of compounding. And while Buffett's calm demeanor suggests pure logic, don't miss the moral dimension beneath it. His choices stem from integrity, the idea that reputation is earned in inches and lost in seconds. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it, he says. Integrity, in his mind, isn't negotiable. It's the ultimate insurance policy. In the later chapters of life, this matters even more. How you treat people, how you keep promises, how you speak of others when they're not around. These form the invisible wealth that will outlast any portfolio. Another perspective worth emphasizing is the art of delayed gratification. Buffett's fortune is living proof that small, patient actions, left untouched, eventually snowball into something enormous. The same applies to relationships, health, and character. Skip the instant hit, the impulse buy, the hasty argument, the quick comfort. Invest in the slow burn. Cooking at home, walking daily, saving consistently, listening deeply. Life compounds in every direction, and time rewards the patient far more generously than it ever rewards the impulsive. Finally, perhaps Buffett's most profound teaching is about contentment. He often says he tap dances to work every morning. That's not about luxury, it's about alignment. He does what he loves, with people he trusts, for reasons that matter to him. That alignment is the real definition of wealth. To wake up and live a life that feels internally coherent, not one constantly at war with your own values. As you move through your 60s and beyond, seek that coherence. Spend your energy where your heart feels alive. Cut out what dulls you. Measure success not by accumulation, but by the level of peace you feel when you close your eyes at night. The truth about Buffett's story is that it's not about luck, age, or money. It's about structure. He built a life architecture where the right actions were easy to repeat and the wrong ones were hard to make. You can do the same, starting now. Simplify, automate, learn, give, and protect your attention like it's your final currency. Because it is. Every day you still have is capital. Spend it intentionally. And when the market of life eventually closes for the day, your final balance sheet won't be measured in dollars but in peace. In how you treated people, what you built that outlasts you, and how fully you lived each remaining season. That, in the end, is the compounding Warren Buffett understood better than anyone. That the ultimate return isn't just financial growth, but the quiet satisfaction of a life well managed, well used, and deeply loved.